Don't ask me how, but the Bears beat the Seahawks 25-24, but there's still a lot of rumors surrounding Matt Nagy. Don't worry, we'll recap the game. It was very interesting, but a report from me and Rapoport dropped earlier today saying that while nothing was finalized as of earlier today, Matt Nagy could be fired as soon as tomorrow being Monday. So, will it happen? Will Matt Nagy get fired tomorrow? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Get your votes in down in the comment section. I say yes, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully they rip off the Band-Aid. Get your votes in, and let's recap this Week 16 win for the Chicago Bears. You're watching Chicago Bears Now. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Bears win, and I guess a thriller. It was a blizzard, that's for sure. 25-24 over the Seattle Seahawks. Nick Foles got the start and actually played fairly well. We'll talk about him later on. The Bears defense made enough plays, certainly got some help as the Seahawks missed a critical field goal that would have made it a 27-17 game, but instead, Bears take advantage. They go score, go for two. Damiere Byrd wins the game, and the Bears get a last-minute stop as well to win 25-24. We'll react to this one. We'll have a full post-game show and talk about some of the top news and rumors coming out of this one. I want to know, though, did you care about this game? Coming into it, during it, afterwards when they won, I mean, were you popping champagne? Did you care? Bears are out of the playoffs. They're probably going to fire their coach. Did you care? Justin Fields didn't play. That's why, look, when Foles was announced as a starter, I had to choose which post-game or live watch party I was going to do. And I was like, Foles is starting. This team's out. I'm not doing Bears. But we're still doing a post-game show. And plan is to do a live watch party next week. Type C for care. Type D for no, you don't care. I want to know, did you care about this game against the Seattle Seahawks? All right, so I want to talk about Matt Nagy because, yeah, the Bears won, and that's great. Congrats, Nick Foles. But Ian Rapoport, like I mentioned, did drop that, I won't call it a hardcore report, but kind of mention that while the Bears have not finalized anything, that part was a report, a decision conceivably could come Monday, and that, of course, could be an announcement of he's going to coach out the rest of the season. He's been fired. He's going to be fired after the season. The Bears could make that public if they choose to do so, and I certainly think firing Matt Nagy makes sense. Now, the reason tomorrow makes sense is during weeks 17 and 18, teams can start interviewing coaches from other teams about being their head coach due to a new NFL rule that was implemented this year. That has not been a possibility in the past. You ask me, rip off the Band-Aid, take some skin, take some hair follicles with you. Not that Matt Nagy has much hair left. Let's go. Let's get rid of them. And look, nice guy. I give the players credit for playing hard and go winning that game at Seattle today. But at the end of the day, it's over. I think we all know that it's over. So you've got to rip off the Band-Aid if you are the Chicago Bears. And the reason why, and we'll look at the Matt Nagy tenure here, is when it comes down to it, it's been a regression since 2018 when Matt Nagy won Coach of the Year. This team won the NFC North, and even though they lost in the wild card game, we were all thinking this is a team that's built for the foreseeable future. You've got an exciting young offense, even though Trubisky was still inconsistent then. The defense is humming. Then you go 8-8. Then you go 8-8. This year you're 5-10 after drafting Justin Fields. You got to make a change. We all know that. Overall, Nagy's 33-30. A win today did secure that he'll finish above 500. So, congrats, Coach. You got that going for you. But overall, if today impacts the Bears pushing back their decision on his future, that's stupid. This game meant nothing at the end of the day. I applaud the effort, and that matters. Culture matters moving forward, but this regime's not going to be here moving forward, so who really cares at the end of the day other than pride of being a Bears fan? Okay, grade the Nagy era, assuming this does come to an end, whether it's after this game or after the next two games. A, B, C, D, or F. I won't give it an F because there are two playoff appearances, including an NFC North championship, so it can't be an F. But it's a failing grade. It's D+, D. Made the playoffs twice, some good things, but he came in here to fix the offense, and he didn't do that. So I'll give it a D+. Not good enough, but he's certainly not the worst coach in Bears history, albeit some of you guys would like to think that. So I will grade it as a D+. Get your grades in for Matt Nagy and his era as the Chicago Bears head coach. All right, let's talk about the game a little bit, and I do want to give credit to Nick Foles. He has not played all season. He played one half of preseason football. He's the third-string quarterback, didn't get any reps, but look, he's a mature vet, and this is what mature vets do. You know, they come in when they're called upon, 24 of 35, 250 yards, had that late touchdown, including the two-point conversion. Nick Foles gave this team a chance to win today, and I've said this all along. While Nick Foles is obviously not the future, he's always been a capable backup. I mean, there's no doubt about that. If the Bears could go back in time, if they somehow knew they were going to be able to draft Justin Fields, then you don't sign Andy Dalton. And that's not because Andy Dalton isn't better than Nick Foles. They're in the same tier. But the point is, they're similar, right? They're both high-level backups, and if they need to start in a pinch, they can. They can run an offense. And Foles, who's under contract next year, could be Justin Fields' backup next year. I'm totally fine with that. But what I don't want to see is people in the comments, I should have started Nick Foles this year. No. Like, this win does not matter. Now, kudos to Foles. Maybe it helps his trade value if the Bears want to try and trade him this offseason, so that's a win-win as well. But we all know, and I've said this and you guys know this, he's capable of playing well. And while he wasn't great today, in bad weather conditions, he played pretty damn well. So kudos to Nick Foles. He fought, he's fighting for his career too. Maybe he gets traded and gets an opportunity to play somewhere next year. So capable backup, we know that. He's won a Super Bowl, so kudos to him. Probably, arguably his best game as a member of the Chicago Bears. Now, obviously, Justin Fields is the future, at least in my opinion. And if you want his jersey, you can pick one up for just $90. Not a question mark. It's a fact. Chatsports.com/Fields jersey. Pick one up today at chatsports.com/Fields jersey. We'll have you guys covered with a brand new Justin Fields jersey on sale. $90. Pick one up right now. All right, let's take a look at the offense for Chicago. Average, but I mean, considering the conditions, not terrible, right? 317, we already showed you Foles' game. 229 passing when you factor in the sack yardage. 88 rushing. Seahawks stuffed the run for the most part. But 8 of 17, third and fourth down, almost 50% there. No turnovers. That's a good stat as well. This Bears offense did enough to go up into Seattle in awful conditions and find a way to win a game. Now, I do want to mention Teven Jenkins did leave with a shoulder injury. Unclear the severity. Larry Borom came back into play, which, by the way, it's freaking criminal that Larry Borom did not start at right tackle over Jermaine Ifedi. That's just reason number 800 Matt Nagy needs to go. But at least he got to come in and play left tackle once Jenkins left in this game. Hopefully just a precaution. What you don't want is a pattern here where Teven Jenkins is just a guy that gets banged up frequently. I hope that's not the case. I'm not saying that's the case. I don't know the severity of it, but he did leave with a shoulder injury, so we'll certainly monitor that moving forward. David Montgomery ran the ball only for 45 yards and a touchdown, but had 7 catches for 61 yards, so was effective in the receiving game, so good for him. Look, you get your best player of the ball, right? And he got 28 touches today, 21 carries and 7 catches on the day. So a couple of other guys in the offense to talk about. Jenkins with the injury, Teven Jenkins, and then David Montgomery as well. Subscribe to the channel. Here's the deal. If Matt Nagy gets fired, when he gets fired, in my opinion, we'll break it down. We're going to go live if he gets fired. I can pretty much guarantee you that. Help us out. Subscribe. We just crossed 38,000 subscribers, trying to get to 39,000 as soon as possible. Hit that big red button below. And when Matt Nagy gets canned, we'll have you covered here at youtube.com/BearsNow. Okay, the Bears defense gave up some big plays, but got some key stops when it had to. Third and fourth down, key numbers there, 3 of 11. Held Russell Wilson in somewhat of check, stopped him on the final drive, so that's good. Got gashed a little bit in the run game, but overall okay. But the lack of takeaways continues to be a problem for Chicago. It's been an issue for most of the season. You know who hadn't been an issue, though? Robert Quinn. Added another sack, his 17th of the year. I mean, the year this guy is having is just unbelievable. It's unfortunate because they've wasted one of the all-time great seasons by a Bears defensive player. They really have. I mean, Quinn has a chance at 20 sacks. 3 sacks the last 2 weeks. I mean, that is just unreal, the year that he has had. So kudos to him. He's had a great season. He said after the game, look, for me, these final 2 games are not meaningless. I'm on team to keep Robert Quinn at this point. Unless you get a first-round pick for him, but I don't think you'll get a first with his contract. But hey, you bring him back next year, the offense gets better, he can be a part of the defense, I'm in. He's been awesome this year. Let it out, tight fire Nagy. That's still the theme here, even though the Bears won. Tight fire Nagy. Let's get this coaching search started. And honestly, a win like today, it's like, gosh, it's just stupid, right? You know, it doesn't help. It pisses off Giants fans who have the Bears' first-round pick, so I guess that's something. But let's get rid of this coach. Let's start this search, and let's see what the future of Bears football looks like. But, hey, you know, Bears 5 wins. Good chance to get 6 because they play the Giants next week at home, so that's certainly winnable. Hopefully Justin Fields gets healthy and can play in that because you still want him to play if he's healthy and get those reps. Bears 25, Seahawks 24. Shout out Nick Foles. And shout out to the guys that are playing hard. That's what you do. You're a professional. You come to work. You play hard. You try to win, and that's what the Bears did today. So good for them. This is the last couple of weeks, though. You got the Giants next week, and then you go to Minnesota week 18, maybe with a chance to spoil their playoff hopes if they are still alive. And then, yes, the offseason. It's finally here. Hopefully a new coach, a new GM, new players, other stuff. Draft season, free agency. It's going to be fun. Subscribe, youtube.com/BearsNow. Let's fire Nagy. Let's get to the offseason, and let's keep this moving because these last couple of games need to come to an end. But I do want to watch Justin Fields again, so hopefully he gets healthy. Hit that big red button. If Nagy gets fired on Monday, like I said, who knows if they'll do it after a Nagy win. But if he does, we'll have it covered. youtube.com/BearsNow. Subscribe. I'm signing off. We'll see you soon here on the channel.